With the State Fair of Texas as our background, Texas and Oklahoma are ready to meet for the 104th time. Bob Stoops and the Sooners know how much a win today would right their season. His quarterback, Sam Bradford, missed 34 days with a separated shoulder, but he's back. Mac Brown has beaten Oklahoma 3 of the last 4 years. His quarterback, Colt McCoy, will be starting his 4th game in the Red River Rivalry. There's always something to this one. From season to season, the details change, but there's always an angle, like a #1 ranking or title hopes on the line. The headline this time is Longhorns Seek Justice. They beat the Sooners last year, then watched their rivals soak up all the glory. But those kind of stories come and go, part of the news cycle. Like leaves, they flare up and then fall off the tree. Now, pride, on the other hand, is permanent, always at stake, no matter the standings or state of affairs. Oklahoma, Texas, it matters for bragging rights, year after year after year. One of the great scenes in all of college football. The intensity of the Red River Rivalry ready to explode on college football here on ABC. The BCS stakes sky high for Texas. The Longhorns are focused on a national championship. And Oklahoma can salvage its season beginning with an upset win over their rival. Right now, let's go down below to Chris Fowler and the gang. Chris?
Brent, thank you. You're right. This place has been filled for 45 minutes. And Colt McCoy, runner-up in the Heisman a year ago, on the winning side, 2 of his 3 starts against Oklahoma. Last season's Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Sam Bradford, back in the mix. Big game against Baylor. Big game a year ago against Texas. 5 touchdown passes, but it wasn't enough. He is hungry today. Never in the history of this great rivalry have 2 coaches squared off for 11 times until today. Bob Stoops a 6-4 edge over Mac Brown, but Texas has won 3 of the last 4. So much at stake in this mid-season bowl game. Not even guys like Bradford and McCoy are immune from feeling the nerves, the electricity inside this place. Which offense can make the fewest turnovers, because the other side is so good at cashing in. Both times hurt by penalties coming into this game. Which side can maintain its poise and still make plays big enough to win this game? Lee, there's a lot on the line, a lot of subplots. Break it down for us.
Well, I think Texas has beaten Oklahoma 3 out of 4 years, and they've done it by scoring. Oklahoma has allowed Texas 34 points on average. That in special teams is why I'm picking Texas. Their special teams is also very important.
I think we're all excited to finally see not only these 2 teams go head-to-head, but these 2 quarterbacks go head-to-head after everything that happened last year. Bradford coming back last week against Baylor, knocking off the rust, getting his confidence back. There's a few things that separate him. His decision-making and his pinpoint accuracy are amazing. How about his anticipation and the ability to make a throw and the chemistry that he has with his wide receivers? And his footwork is flawless. That's why the NFL loves Sam Bradford. And then there's Colt McCoy, Mr. Everything for Texas. Of course, he has that same accuracy, the ability to make any throw on the field. Really, really strong arm from the number 12 in burnt orange. And the last thing, everybody likes to call it the it factor. Bradford makes plays and is always the catalyst for this Texas offense.
Bradford's been nicked up. Many feel McCoy has been pressing. Which quarterback can rise up and produce a signature performance, a winning performance today in the latest edition of the Red River Rivalry? Kirk will head upstairs to join Brent Musburger and Lisa Salters. Kickoff coming up soon after this message from your ABC stations.
We welcome you back to the Cotton Bowl and Big Tex. Another important stop along the drive to the national championship. This tradition began back in 1929. Norman, Oklahoma, and Austin, Texas. There's nothing like coming to the Cotton Bowl for this game, getting yourself a Fletcher corny dog and a mug of beer at 9 a.m. Mac Brown is down below with Lisa Salters, so let's go to Lisa.
Thanks, Brent. Mac, you've said all week long that this is not a revenge game, but given that Oklahoma went on to the national championship last season and Texas didn't, if a little payback isn't on your mind today, well, what is?
Well, Lisa, we really recognized at the end if we'd beaten Tech, it would have been out of the system and we'd have gone to the national championship game. So it's really on us, not Oklahoma.
Now, what were the final words that you had for your players in the locker room before they ran out here on the field?
It's a young man here in Dallas that got hurt in a football practice last spring. He's a sophomore named Corey Bonner. He's in a wheelchair now, and our thoughts and prayers with him, but he left this with us last night, and it said find a way. So if Corey can find a way to get out of that chair and walk again, we can sure find a way to win this game.
All right, thank you, Mac. Brent?
Lisa, thank you. So here is the counterpart on the other side, getting mic'd up. Bob Stoops, hard to believe, but he's only 49 years old. At one time, he was 5-0 in the Red River rivalry, but he's lost 3 of the last 4. And a year ago in a wild shootout, 80 points were scored. The Longhorns finally prevailed, 45-35. Mac Brown in Texas won the coin toss and deferred. That means that Sam Bradford and Oklahoma will begin on offense. Justin Tucker to kick it off for the Horns. Dominic Franks and Moses Madu back deep. This is Madu from the goal line. Short of the 20-yard line. Well, Kirk, here comes Sam Bradford for his first series in this game. He had 11 dropped passes last week, but he was still 27 of 49 against Baylor.
That's a great point. He had some drops, but the most important thing is just getting number 14 back out on the field for Oklahoma. I think his presence creates a lot of confidence, and also, Brent, as you know, the tempo goes up another notch because of his understanding of this offense. They'll get to the line very fast today.
Stoops hoping that DeMarco Murray, number 7, has a big game. They flare him on first down. That was in the script. And Murray squirts across for a first down on the opening sequence. Not only can he run, but he can catch those short passes. And with a young, inexperienced offensive line, look for that short passing game to be the Sooners' running game here today. Move Murray to the left side. Stack 3 wide receivers to the left. Bradford's second pass under pressure, had to throw behind Caleb, incomplete, second down and 10. Coming hard was Lamar Houston.
There's the concern for Oklahoma, the pass protection. Houston's really having a big year for Texas. And what Will Muschamp wants to see is not just sacks, but what he likes to call affecting the quarterback with hurries and hitting him after he throws.
Backfield emptied out. Third consecutive pass play. Incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 10 against Muschamp's defense.
This is the down and distance that Oklahoma wanted to avoid, and this is what Texas wants, because this is where they feel they have a huge advantage in coming after Sam Bradford with pressure against this offensive line, yet to build the continuity.
Leading the play for the sideline, Kevin Wilson calling it up above. Late adjustment in the secondary. Drop it off in underneath for a first down on 3rd and 10. DeMarco Murray still moving. Cross midfield on a cutback. One man to beat. Heads for the end zone. Tripped up at the 7-yard line. A brilliant play call by the Sooners.
Great job there by Kevin Wilson. Quick throw here, 3rd down, wait for the pressure to come and then dump it right where the linebackers were. They get it to their playmaker, DeMarco Murray, who they want to get about 25 touches, running and catching the ball. He's the difference maker for the Sooners.
A straight handoff to Brown, who replaces him, pounding to the 8-yard line.
Chris Brown, nice change of pace to what DeMarco Murray can bring. He is a very experienced, durable back. Oklahoma loves to throw the ball to the slot receiver. In this case, at the top, it's Ryan Broyles.
Second down and goal from the red zone. Firing in zone. Incomplete. Out of bounds. Going deep to Broyles, who was playing despite that shoulder he injured against Miami.
You see last year when they had all the weapons in the big offensive line and Jermaine Gresham, how they ranked when they get down into this area. Struggling a bit this year trying to replace Gresham, and Bradford's been out so much of this year.
Brown, the running back, alongside. On 3rd and goal. Bradford to the middle, incomplete. And that'll probably bring Jimmy Stevens out as the Longhorn defense holds after that 65-yard catch and run by DeMarco Murray.
If you look at from the eyes of Sam Bradford, he doesn't have anybody open and makes a good decision just to throw this ball away where nobody can make the catch. But a good opening drive for Oklahoma if they can come away with points here.
Carter Whitson will be the holder. Off the upright, but it's still good. It ricochets across. It struck the left upright and ricocheted inside the right. Texas has to feel real good about holding Oklahoma to just a field goal on that adventure. The first series of the game, and Jimmy Stevens puts the Sooners up. Well, the Cotton Bowl was a new stadium back in 1930. That was a year after this rivalry started being played in Dallas. 104th time they have met, and Herbie, you could not have dialed up more perfect weather than we have right now. And Oklahoma ready to kick it off. On the ground, out of Shipley's hands that way. 30, 35. It'll be run out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So we early see some of Stoops' strategy. Remember, a year ago, Oklahoma had a lot of trouble defending kickoffs, not just against the Horns, but some other teams. And we see what Bob's going to try to do here today.
Absolutely. It's fun to see this game. Last year we had so many great memories back and forth, and we're wondering, is this going to be a low-scoring game? And right out of the gate, Oklahoma goes 78 yards in a hurry and gets 3 points. And now here comes Colt McCoy, the runner-up in the Heisman Trophy a year ago.
Fozzie Whitaker gets the cutback run on first down. Greg Davis determined to try to run, and Fozzie Whitaker delivers on the first play of the game and then smashes into a teammate over there on the sideline. That was Earl Thomas, I believe, who went down, and we hope he was not shaken up.
I think they're going to get
this has kind of come back, huh?
No, it's 15 more yards, I think, for a late hit by Oklahoma.
You're right. Personal foul.
Yeah. Keenan Clayton came in there a little bit late with a push, and these officials are trying to make sure they take control of this rivalry game early. Fozzie Whitaker, by the way, can run the football for Texas, and it's the push right there where he's out of bounds. Beal initially got him out. 44 pushes him, he's out, and then Clayton trying to finish the play, knocks him out of bounds, and it'll be 15 yards tagged on top.
So that makes it, Herbie, total 31-yard gain, and this, as I said, that was Earl Thomas down, and he's being tended to. He is a starting safety and a very vital member of that defense. We've got to keep an eye on that story. Lisa will jump to that. And they come right back. Gerald McCoy, one of the Nagurski candidates, along with Beal, great defensive lineman, makes that stop.
A big battle up front will be Texas's offensive line. It's been struggling a bit establishing the run against a big Oklahoma talented defensive line. Oklahoma needs to be able to win that battle and get pressure with Gerald McCoy and their front four, especially in containing and corralling Colt McCoy.
Thomas is sitting up now along the sideline, still being tended to by the medical staff. Second down and 12. Show linebacker blitz. They've got McCoy. That's a fumble. Scooped up. That was Ryan Reynolds who came in as Austin English knocked it out. Ryan Reynolds, who was injured for the season a year ago in this game. But watch Mr. English.
Some confusion up front. The tight end released. Probably should have stayed in there because the offensive line was sliding to their right. There was some confusion up front, and it made it very easy for Austin English, a senior, to lower the boom on Colt McCoy.
From their own 48-yard line, English being congratulated for forcing their first turnover of this Red River rivalry. And there, out of the gun, Bradford is sacked on first down. That is Aaron Williams coming off the corner. And he's hurt again. That's that shoulder. His throwing shoulder. Remember, he missed 34 days, 3 games, returned only a week ago, lost 14, and Landry Jones will have to replace him, at least for the time being. There is number 12 getting ready.
Identical play in what happened against BYU to Sam Bradford, where he feels pressure, tries to avoid the pressure, trying to roll around to his right. He collapses, and then all of his weight comes down on his right shoulder. You can see by his reaction that he almost did. You can just see the energy of him saying, oh no, not again.
A heartbreaking moment for Bradford and the millions of Oklahoma fans as you see Williams come off that corner and all the weight coming down on that right shoulder.
Gutsy call there by Will Muschamp, bringing the blitz. An aggressive play brings his corner, Aaron Williams. He gets in clean. You just hate to see number 14 for Oklahoma have to go down. Landry Jones' experience that he has gained in the last 3 or 4 weeks is very, very important to this Oklahoma offense, feeling confident in what Landry brings to the offense.
His first play for the gun, he's going to throw it high, incomplete. A third down, and depression has to have taken hold over on that Oklahoma sideline. Already, of course, they played without Bradford for 3 games, losing one of them down at Miami. Bradford was knocked out of the BYU game. They lost that one by a point. Landry Jones, who was a very highly rated young quarterback coming out of New Mexico, we'll see what he can do to rally the troops here on 3rd and 24. He'll swing it. And DeMarco Murray is run out of bounds before he can get back to the original line of scrimmage. So the Sooners, after the first turnover of the game, are forced to punt. And the Horns have survived that fumble and Bradford being tended to on the sideline.
That could be as much, it could be more devastating emotionally for Oklahoma to see Bradford down than what they necessarily lose with Landry Jones coming in to throw. Don't get me wrong, Sam Bradford's a great player, but Landry Jones can throw the football.
A difference maker has just trotted out to the field. Jordan Shipley, Trustway, strong punter, and there was pressure on him. Fair catch is signaled for at the 22. Half of the stadium wants a flag. The other half says great cover. And everyone hopes.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by Chevy, Bud Light, with the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability. And AT&T, your world delivered.
There is just nothing like a Fletcher's Coney dog and a mug of beer about 9 a.m. and come on in. Not that I did that today.
Dogs in a mug of beer.
Meanwhile, young Bradford was over there.
Yeah.
Stretching that shoulder, got up off the bench. And, Colt McCoy, who fumbled, handing off. Here's Whitaker getting to that edge again. And meanwhile, I want to pass on that Earl Thomas did come back out for the Longhorns defense. Remember, he was shaken up on Whitaker's run over the sideline when the penalty flag came. I do want to report we had so many things happen revolving around Sam Bradford that we missed that story, but he was back out there, Herbie.
That's so important, as you talked about. He is a leader in the secondary and such an important part. Big interception last week against Colorado to turn that game around.
Again, attacking the left side with misdirection here, Herbie. A steady diet, forcing Beal to play the run over there.
What they're trying to do is when you play Bob Stoops and Brent Venables in the defensive side, they have so much talent and they're coached to be so aggressive and intimidating against the run that they're trying to give them a look one way and get them to slow down. Brent Venables attacks with his linebackers, and one of the ways to slow them down is misdirection to try to slow them down in other areas, especially the pass rush.
Childs, Kirkendall, and Buckner are McCoy's wide receivers here on this third down. Colt's going to throw for it, has great time, incomplete. Shipley, his roommate, was covered by Brian Jackson.
I thought Brent Venables told us something interesting this week. When you face Colt McCoy and this 4 wide receiver look, it's a lot like going up against, here's the coverage right here at the bottom by Brian Jackson. It's a lot like facing Texas Tech and what they do. It's about matching up. Jackson might have gotten away with a little bit with a jersey pull, but these defensive backs are locked in to this 4 wide receiver set from Texas.
John Gold out of bounds, so Dominic France does not have an opportunity to return it. And meanwhile, number 14 was throwing, has his helmet off, or I should say on, over here on the sideline. That's Josh Heupel as we look back and see how he was shaken off on a corner blitz a short time ago and going right back down on that throwing shoulder. And Landry Jones will bring the offense back out.
If we had a microphone in front of Bob Stoops and asked him how he feels right now, he would be quickly to say, of course, he feels bad for Bradford, but these coaches have a ton of confidence in Landry Jones and what he can do in this football game.
Back in the pistol offense, the shorter drop for a quarterback, and running Brown behind the right side of the OU line.
I think the challenge for Oklahoma, if Bradford in fact stays out of the game, is staying aggressive with Landry Jones coming into the game with their play calling. Here's Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, right in the middle of the screen. He has got to maintain the aggressive attitude that Oklahoma brought to the table when they started this game with Bradford.
Second down and 6. Jones throws, and at midfield, Caleb holds on.
That's just not only a completion for Landry Jones. Boy, oh boy, is that a big completion in a rivalry game. His first taste of this rivalry game here at the Cotton Bowl, to settle the nerves and be able to just execute this offense.
Stacking 3 wide to the right. They'll throw that flanker screen over there, and that's for a loss of yardage that time, and that is number 12, Earl Thomas.
These safeties for Texas and for Will Muschamp have really grown up in the last year. I can recall last year calling this game at one point because of injuries. They had 3 true freshmen in the secondary defending Bradford. Now with the experience, now it becomes a strength led by number 12, Earl Thomas.
Caleb and Madu, along with Broyles, stacked to the left on second down and 12. And Brown gives up another yard, and this will be 3rd and long for Oklahoma as the Longhorns defense has really tightened the vise. Kendall and Houston.
Big advantage up front with Houston and Kendall and the rest of that defensive line against this Oklahoma offensive line coming into this game, and on that play they dominated.
Middle incomplete, forced to punt again. There's a penalty. There is a late penalty drawn by Rivalry. I believe, the tight end, who did an outstanding job in the hole, and Keenan Robinson took the bait. Automatic first down, bailed out.
Keenan Robinson made a huge error, and he's doing his best out there to defend. But boy, oh boy, the ball was already about to go over top of the receiver's head and land in the grass, and then he pulls on his shoulder pad right at the end of the play. I don't know if that ball was catchable. I think that's what the Oklahoma fans are reacting to.
Quickly, Landry Jones fires back over to the left, finding daylight with Cameron Kinney's first reception.
What a great block by Brandon. Actually, he's right in front of him. He's going to pick up a block on Williams. It springs him and gives him just a little bit of a lane and about 8 to 10 more yards for Kinney to pick up.
Attacking to the outside, using the pistol, coming back with the run. And the contain man forcing the running back to the 20-yard line. They pick up 2 yards. McElroy makes the stop on DeMarco Murray.
Well, Oklahoma this year, Brent, has been moving the ball pretty well until they get to about their opponent's 30-yard line, and then they start to implode with penalties and drop balls and miscues. That's been emphasized this week, of finishing drives successfully.
That is Matt Clapp, the fullback, playing with a little cast on the left hand off the play fake. He picks up the attack man, and incomplete. Out of bounds is Caleb. No catch. Third down and 8. Murray to the left of Jones. End zone, jump ball, incomplete. Curtis Brown, the corner with coverage that time on Kinney.
Landry Jones just puts his ball up into the air and hopes that Kinney can fight and take it away from Curtis Brown. But the size of Curtis Brown at 6 feet, no problem for him to go up and bat that ball away. Jones fortunate that that ball was not intercepted.
Remember, Jimmy Stevens hit the left upright and it ricocheted across from 26 yards. This is a 37-yarder here. Slides that one in through. 6-0 OU. You're watching ESPN on ABC, home of the 2010 Rose Bowl game and the City BCS Championship game. MetLife providing these dramatic views of the Cotton Bowl in beautiful Dallas, Texas. MetLife provides coverage of major sporting events while also providing you with guarantees for the ifs in your life. 50-50 crowd. Oklahoma on the basis of 2 field goals, leading Texas. Kirk Herbstreit, Lisa Salters. I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us. A gorgeous Saturday afternoon. From the 2 at DJ Monroe, looking alley. Down at the 27-yard line. Lisa, what have you observed down below on Sam Bradford?
Well, Brent,
Thank you, Lisa. And, of course, the helmet off. Not a good sign when you're down there in the middle of a game.
No, how about this rivalry? You come in expecting to see a lot from Bradford McCoy. Bradford's injured. McCoy hasn't completed a pass yet.
Forced to run, something he hasn't done, and there's a penalty flag.
That's going to come back for holding. But that aspect of Colt McCoy's game is important for Mack Brown throughout this afternoon against the Oklahoma defense. He's going to have to use his legs to make plays today. This time Kyle Hicks will bring it back with a holding call.
For me, Texas has only 14 yards of offense. All running. As you said, Colt hasn't completed a pass, and meanwhile Oklahoma has 114 yards, but they've settled for 2 field goals. So the Texas offense struggling here in the early going against one of the best defensive fronts in college football. Incomplete. The middle was open. Shipley was the intended receiver. They made a feast out of that play last year, but not today. Let's go to Matt Weiner in New York for an update. And here, of course, the strength of 2 field goals. McCoy still trying to complete his first pass. There's a little bit of debate down here about this one. They're ruling catch on the field. The OU defenders certainly did not think that Malcolm Williams made the grab. Let us check here.
Oklahoma with the pressure. Ball is thrown to the back shoulder. Woof. His foot is up in the air when he catches that football. Of course, they're going to take another look at this. Brent, doesn't it look like his foot comes up? And that was a tough angle, but we'll take a few different looks at this.
I think instant replay will turn it over, Herbie.
Yeah, the first look sure looked like his foot elevated off the turf as soon as he was able to secure the football into his hands.
Incomplete. So it will be 3rd and 20 for McCoy and the Longhorns, as the completion to Williams is turned over on instant replay.
The battle up front in this football game early is favoring Oklahoma's defensive line. Their athletic ability is getting the best of Texas, and they're getting some penetration, especially when Colt McCoy drops back to throw.
Shipley is slotted. And the defensive back walks up on it. Now he's going to back off. Showing McCoy one look, then another. Late movement by the defense. Here they come. McCoy gets it off, and it is caught by the tight end, but well short of a first down. Greg Smith.
Gotta love the looks that Brent Venables is dialing up here on 3rd down. Off to the right. You get the pressure. The corner, Jackson, almost gets to Colt McCoy if he would have held on to that ball just a little bit longer. But they're showing pressure. They're disguising their looks. They're keeping the wide receivers and Colt McCoy guessing, especially on those big 3rd downs.
Justin Tucker back to punt again. And the Horns with only 21 total yards. Dominique Franks is back. Low fair catches signal. And that's going to be marked around the 29-yard line. So the helmet is still off. And on the sidelines. And to back up the young man, Landry Jones, number 12. Yesterday, Herbie, I had a treat. I went out to Jerry Jones' brand new Texas Cowboy Stadium, and thinking about Landry, there's this wonderful statue of the old Cowboy legendary coach out there. And of course, Landry Jones is named after Tom. His mom and dad over in New Mexico were huge Cowboy fans. Thus, it is Landry Jones who has taken over. Here is Brown to the 35-yard line.
The tempo is so important in this football game for Oklahoma. They already have run 19 plays. And with Bradford back last week against Baylor, you can see they were up to 99 snaps. See if Landry Jones can keep the heat up.
Play fake. Landry in trouble. Has to drop it off and does a very good job of that to the tight end, Rivalry.
You know, a lot of people wonder, why does Oklahoma go with that hurry up? The whole point is to be the aggressor, to get the defense that you're facing back on its heels, so they lose their edge. They lose their aggressiveness and their ability to blitz. They're more just trying to survive as opposed to trying to create pressure on the offense.
3rd and short. They're going to have Landry swing it to Brown, who dives toward that first down marker. So he picks it up on a fine effort at the end of that catch, with Keenan Robinson closing in. Quickly they come to the next play. Incomplete. Great coverage there. That was Shockey Brown.
Brett, outside of Chris Brown and DeMarco Murray, you wonder who within this Oklahoma offense can make a play against the skill of the Texas defense. Brian Broyles, if he can hold up, is definitely a guy who can do that, but they're going to need somebody besides Murray and Brown to take some of the pressure off of those running backs.
So for the first time, we see Murray and Brown together in that backfield, and they will motion number 7 and swing it to him behind the wide receiver block. He gets a crease across midfield to the 45-yard line.
These receivers
And
are good.
He's shaken up, Herbie.
Broyles went down to make a big block. Clears Murray, but Murray's been battling through injuries throughout most of his career, and this would be devastating for Oklahoma. Just is getting back to the point of feeling that he's healthy. He told his coaches this week, it's the best I've felt all year. He's had so many injuries to overcome. You just hope as he walks off the field that he's going to be able to come back.
And of course, 65 of the 104 yards came on that early pass play. With the injured Sam Bradford, if you just joined us, on a corner blitz, he went down on top of the shoulder he injured against BYU and has not returned. This is Brown. Did a great job of escaping Earl Thomas and making it across the 30-yard line. An outstanding run by Chris Brown, the senior from Louisiana.
He gets to the outside. Robinson, number one's got to do a better job. But watch Brandon Caleb's block right there on Brown. Curtis Brown was trying to get to the outside. And boy, oh boy, Brandon Caleb having a big day so far with his blocking and helping these running backs.
Whistle before the snap.
Touchdown before the snap.
So the false start against the Sooners will bring it back to the 34-yard line.
Well, there's Landry Jones hurrying, getting the Texas defense to commit to their look, and then the coaches at the top help make the adjustment now that they know what Texas is going to be in.
Hand off to Brown, and that middle is jammed. Nothing much doing as Eddie Jones makes the stop for the Horns.
Kind of the new wrinkle that we see all over college football over the last couple of years, and Oklahoma has a lot to do with why it's become such a trend. Here's Will Muschamp, the bottom right, as a defensive coordinator, trying to also make his adjustments.
Jones moves the pocket over to the left. Under great pressure. Incomplete. That was Kenny, the intended target. Will Muschamp, the coach in waiting. And it may be a long time waiting, because Mac Brown telling me this week he got no thought of retiring, even should they win the national championship. 3rd down and 14. Landry Jones, and there's a penalty flag. On a ricochet, it's intercepted. That was McElroy, but there was a penalty flag, as I said.
That's a good call, too. Shockey Brown gets there a little bit too early to knock the ball away from Broyles. Got too physical there. Ball was thrown pretty well by Landry Jones. Mac's not going to like this.
Offside. That'll nullify that.
Fine, that one.
And Mac is livid.
Shockey Brown gets in a little bit early. Landry Jones facing some pressure right there. But see that? Shockey Brown just knocks Broyles over. That ball was going right to number 85 for a completion.
That ball had the play stood, had there been no penalty, that was intercepted. That ball never hit the ground. 1st down and 10. And it is DeMarco Murray and Ben Alexander comes in to make the stop.
Nice to see Murray back out there for Oklahoma. As I said, it's been a battle for him. Through the first 3 games, he averaged 13 touches a game. In the last 2, 23.
Second down at 13. Jones again hit as he releases. Incomplete. Enormous pressure on number 12 that time.
Delayed blitz. Chalky Brown gets through there. And it was like he was just waiting for it to clear. He comes right off the corner off of Brandon Caleb, and the back isn't there to pick him up. Murray went to the right. Easy play for Brown.
Jones quickly to the snap. Throws deep right over the top. Jump ball incomplete. And a coverage by Curtis Brown.
Brent, you and I keep talking about it. Which of the Oklahoma wide receivers can make a play to help this young quarterback out? Ball is underthrown. It's a pretty good adjustment by Cameron Kenny. He goes up. The ball's kind of a bit of a duck, we'll call it, but he still has a chance to go up and make the play. Curtis Brown using his size and that boundary to his advantage.
So Stevens now has made his first 2. Here's the 45-yarder. No good. Oklahoma has dominated in the early going, but they only lead by 2 field goals. Hoy on first down completes his second pass of the game. Williams, the receiver.
Malcolm Williams and Dan Buckner both are going to have to help take some of the pressure off of Jordan Shipley in this offense.
Now it's McCoy with an option look. And Oklahoma is ready. Keenan Clayton, the linebacker.
That has everything to do with preparation. Texas has not shown a lot of the speed option, especially under center from Colt McCoy. Brent Venables and the defensive staff obviously knew that there might be some wrinkles this week. And Brent Venables getting these guys dialed in. No chance at all there for Colt McCoy in their offense.
2nd and 19. And it's another cold start by the Horns. They've been plagued by it this year. Dangerous. Incomplete. Shuttles it off to Greg Smith.
Well, it makes it pretty tough to execute when you're losing the battle up front. Seems like every time Texas has had the ball, look at the advantage. Oklahoma already has run 30 plays. Within those yards for Texas, Colt McCoy has 2 completions. And here we are at the first quarter with about a minute to go. But up front, Texas is losing this football game on this side of the football.
3rd and 19. 4 wide receivers. They drop it off to Childs. And Childs is hit immediately by Jeremy Beal.
This Oklahoma defense right now, it's a feeding frenzy. They are flying to the football. As I said, there's almost a confidence that you can feel from up here, knowing what Texas wants to do. It reminds me when Oklahoma's played Texas Tech, at least last year, in the game in Norman, where they seemed to know the play before the play even came.
Justin Tucker. Franks will go for the return. Got a block at the 23, 45, cross midfield where he is upended at the Texas 48 as we check in again with Matt Weiner. Matt. And here, Matt, Oklahoma dominating but leading only by 2 field goals, and they've got superb field position after that 30-yard return by Dominic Franks. Murray returns, and this is the pistol where the quarterback lines up in a shorter formation than in the normal shotgun. The handoff, and you wonder what players like Lamar Houston think about defending the run out of this formation.
I think you and I expected a low-scoring game. In the opening drive, Oklahoma came right out, but all of a sudden as the game settles down, Bradford, of course, looks like he could be out for the game. Boy, these defenses have done a nice job of adjusting and starting to win that battle up front.
So ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. welcome you back to the State Fair of Texas. Just a gorgeous Saturday afternoon here at the Cotton Bowl. A couple of field goals for the Sooners. They've lost their Heisman Trophy winner again. Sam Bradford knocked out of the game. So Landry Jones starts the second by handing off to Brown. It has been a fierce defensive battle here today, and both quarterbacks, in fact all three of them, have been bounced off the Cotton Bowl turf a number of times. They're going to take some licks in this one, Herbie.
We're getting a great look at two dominant defensive lines. Landry Jones already knocked down a couple times since he's been in there, but these two defensive lines are athletic and they play with an attitude.
The three wide receivers adjust their spacing on the left. Landry Jones complete. Comes in underneath for the first down, and to the 30-yard line, Tennell makes the catch, and he is defended by the corner on this side.
How about Tennell here making finally a big play for Oklahoma, but Landry Jones in rhythm. They brought pressure, man-to-man coverage on the outside. Chalky Brown gets beat by Tennell for big yards.
Brown juggling all the way, ball on the ground, loose. Texas recovers. Sam Acho recovers it.
He never had possession of the football. Right away he starts to juggle it. He can't possess it right away. He gets hit right there by the young freshman Alex Okafor. The ball is loose, and once it rolls onto the ground right towards the middle of that defense, you know that somebody in burnt orange is going to pick it up.
And Acho did just that. First down and 10 for Colt McCoy and the Horns. Trying to blitz McCoy. He'll step away from it. On the run, throw downfield. Incomplete. Childs was well defended, and there's a penalty flag.
Late flag. Personal foul.
On the defense, number 27. Hit the quarterback in the helmet with his helmet. 15-yard penalty. Automatic.
Sam Proctor.
You saw Colt McCoy picking up some time there by using his athletic ability, and Proctor just could not hold up here. And again, that's one of those where you hit him a little bit late. He didn't wrap up and bring him down. It was just the initial burst and the contact, and the fact that he came high is why you get the call there.
McCoy in underneath, and he hits James Kirkendall slipping out.
You get the feeling that whichever offense will eventually prevail and start to execute, somebody unheralded is going to have to make a play in this game, and James Kirkendall for Texas could be that kind of guy.
He's slotted to the left. You see Childs, the former quarterback, is number 7 at the bottom of your screen. He is the wide receiver. Here comes Whitaker. Slashes across midfield for a first down.
It's the first time that we've seen a crease there in the middle of the Oklahoma defense where Whitaker, who's got great explosiveness, is able to move right there, make a good read. He picks up some nice blocks. Nice job by Kyle Hicks. And there's a little bit of running room there.
McCoy tucks it away, and this will make a 2nd and 10 as he slides down. And our Pacific Life game summary with the two defenses dominating and Landry Jones replacing the injured Sam Bradford. Herbie.
Jones seems to be settling down. I think it's the pieces around Jones to see how they continue to play against Texas. And Colt McCoy, yet really, he's capable at any time of exploding and having a great game, but yet really to be able to settle in and make the plays.
Buckner is flexed. McCoy back, goes one-on-one. Shipley, his roommate's out of bounds, and there's a penalty flag. This will be an automatic first down. The biggest gains for Texas have been the penalties against Oklahoma. Jackson guilty of the infraction and shaken up.
You knew this would be a battle all day towards the boundary. Jackson, a physical, experienced corner against Shipley. No problem pushing until the ball is in the air. And then once Jackson's shoving there on Shipley, you can't do that. By the way, Shipley made the catch, albeit out of bounds. He did make the catch.
Herbie, listen to this stat. The Horns have 35 yards of offense, but 50 yards of penalties. So by far, the biggest gains that Texas has had so far, the penalties against this hard-hitting OU defense. Timeout at the... Well, Colorado went on to win the AP National Championship that year, an 11-1-1 record, and you'll see play number 20 revealed today at our coverage at 3:30. Look down on this wonderful scene, and the freshman Hurst, number 19, is forced to play corner because of the injury to Jackson. McCoy drops it in to Shipley. They were looking for a little bubble screen, and Oklahoma with Dominic Franks and Travis Lewis just jumped number 8.
Well, they are dialed in right now on number 8, Jeremy Shockley, Jordan Shipley. I mean, one of the things about this offense is Colt McCoy has to eventually get the ball to Shipley, but Texas is completely struggling to be able to find ways against this Oklahoma defense to find ways to get him the football, and it's because he's being double teamed almost every single time he goes back. Colt McCoy goes back to throw.
Fonzie Whitaker is off there to the right. Chris Hall snaps it to McCoy. Incomplete, off Whitaker's hands.
And Colt McCoy frustrated there with Fonzie Whitaker. He wanted him to continue down and around towards the sideline because they're paying so much attention to Shipley. The corner that time was riding Shipley to the inside of the field. They had a nice lane around that to the outside, and Whitaker stopped where Colt McCoy wanted him to continue down the sideline. Would have been a big gain.
McCoy 5 of 10, but for only 22 yards against this Sooner defense. 3rd down and 10. First has Shipley. McCoy sacked. And that was Hurst, the freshman. How about that? From Lancaster, Texas, DeMontre Hurst throws McCoy for a 17-yard loss. No one saw that coming from Brent Venables.
The corner is going to come from the outside, and one of the things that they're doing is they're confusing the wide receivers and Colt McCoy, and they're winning the battle up front. That's one way you take away a quarterback that can hurt you throwing the football, is you continue to put pressure on him, and that time he didn't have any time to do anything.
Forcing Tucker to punt again with Franks back deep. Gonna let this one go. Out of bounds, and it will be marked at the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Oklahoma Sooners, who lead it by 2 field goals.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz E-Class, one of the most advanced automobiles on the planet. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And Wrangler, for unbeatable comfort and value. You can count on Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans.
Now the kids love the animals, don't they, at the State Fair in Texas?
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. 1st down and 10 for Landry Jones. Replaced the injured Sam Bradford. Oklahoma up by 2 field goals. And complete. Kenny for a 1st down for Oklahoma. So the Sooners, Herbie, have been able to throw the ball. They've run for only 13. Texas has not been able to run it or throw it. So the advantage to the Oklahoma passing game so far.
A nice job there. Corner that time, the blitz from the nickelback, Aaron Williams, and right where he blitzed towards the bottom of the screen is exactly where Jones was able to throw it.
Continuing to use the pistol, running Brown, and he is thrown for a loss by Sergi O'Kendall. He certainly is a candidate for the Nagurski, given each year to the top defensive player in the country, Herbie.
Yeah, I think there's some confusion that time. You had Oklahoma's offensive line. They didn't even touch big number 2. And this is a guy that really needs a big game today. After all the criticism, he's getting back in Austin.
2nd down and 14. Goes high, and a great move by Earl Thomas. At the end of it, number 12. He has played spectacular football for the Longhorn defense this year and makes another fine move here.
Great instincts. Here's the blitz. He's left one-on-one with Caleb, but it's the closing speed of Thomas. He has the closing speed and athletic ability of a cornerback playing safety.
3rd down and 14. In trouble. Jones steps away from it. On the move, throws it away. Well done by number 12 that time.
Well, Lamar Houston is having his way with Oklahoma's offensive line. Feel like it's a broken record. Both these defensive lines are stepping up. Jones, you're right, is smart to be able to throw the ball away, but Will Muschamp has to love the way his defense has settled down in this football game.
Now, can Jordan Shipley turn the tide again? Let's see what Bob Stoops' strategy is with Tressway, a strong punter, matched against Shipley. Out of bounds. Keeping the ball away, but that's too far away. That's only a 21-yard punt. Colt McCoy and the Horns with good field position again coming up. Herbie, let's change
up this game already 7 times that he's gone down to the turf.
And of course, Sam Bradford knocked out of the game early on, and he appears to be done for the day. So here comes McCoy. And here comes that OU defense. Look at that front. Incomplete. The intended target was Childs that time. Quentin Carter with defense. There's their average yards per play today against this OUD.
It has everything to do with right now. When you win the battle in the trenches, it makes it very, very tough to call plays for Greg Davis. No matter how good you are with your quarterback and the skill around him, you got to get some help up front to give your quarterback a chance.
2nd down and 10. High again. So the hits are starting to take the toll, and McCoy incomplete on his first 2 passes of this series. The one thing about Greg Davis, he's had so much experience. Here he is up here dialing plays. Some offensive coordinators panic in a game like this. Greg will not.
No. And he has so much faith in Colt McCoy because Colt McCoy can turn things around within 1 play, and he knows that. It's just a matter of finding the right mixture of plays.
Constantly changing that OU look. There's the penalty flag. They were drawn offside.
David Snow with movement in right guard.
78. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The movement that you just talked about, it's easy for us to watch from up here, but when you're struggling and the field is definitely tilting in one way, you start to get a little bit unsure of yourself, and all of a sudden you start to hear that snap count and you're trying to make adjustments as they're moving back and forth. There's a lot of communication going on within the offensive line as Oklahoma's showing blitz and then they're backing out. Puts a lot of pressure up front on Texas.
Kirkendall, Childs, Shipley, the wide receivers for Colt on 3rd and 15. Going down again. 8th time of the day. Jeremy Beal takes him to the ground.
Beal is right in the middle of the picture. He's a defensive end, but he's lined up like a linebacker. He is spying Colt McCoy, waiting for Colt McCoy to step up into the pocket, an area that hurt Oklahoma's defense last year. This year, they're waiting for McCoy to step up, and there's big Jeremy Beal as a defensive end lined up right in the middle, just waiting for Colt McCoy.
What an unbelievable defensive performance by Oklahoma. 21 total yards. Franks will let this one go out of bounds. So Brent Venables has dialed up the D here today. You're watching ESPN on ABC. Time now for Kirk Herbstreit versus the Aflac trivia question. All right, besides Colt McCoy, Herbie, what quarterbacks have started 4 games in this rivalry?
How many are there?
That's a bunch. I'll give you a hint. There's 2. 2? There are 2.
I know one of them.
Okay.
Was it Texas from like 89 to 92?
Okay. I didn't ask for the dates. It's Landry. Complete, and Caleb, I believe, got the first down. He did.
I get bonus points for that? Well, there's a receiver making a play for Landry Jones. I keep saying it. Somebody's going to have to help out not only Landry Jones, but Chris Brown and DeMarco Murray. And Kenny has made a few plays, and Caleb, who's had a great day blocking, that time beating man coverage.
Another quick snap by Kevin. Back-to-back completions for Landry Jones, who seems to be getting into a rhythm here.
Going after Curtis Brown, back-to-back plays with Caleb. One time to the inside, this time to the outside. Nice little rhythm, and Jones definitely settling in and confident, throwing the ball to the near side there to his favorite target at the point. Caleb going up against Curtis Brown.
11 of 20 for Jones for 124 yards in this game, and most importantly for the young quarterback, he has not turned it over. Hand off to DeMarco. He is cut off. Trying to look at Kendall Close, another Nagurski candidate, and he'll be playing on Sunday for a long, long time.
Well, it gives you an idea of what this offense is trying to do. Kevin Wilson upstairs, once he lost Sam Bradford, has tried to make adjustments with Landry Jones, but another devastating injury.
Oh my goodness, that's their best offensive lineman.
Yeah.
That's Trent Williams, most experienced All-American candidate, senior from Longview, Texas, so he's being tended to down there. And so hurry, well, we've got a stoppage. Let's take care of the Affleck business here now.
Well, from 89 to 92, I know the first one. Gardere, Peter Gardere.
That's a good one.
And then I'm going to go with Jason White because he came in.
No, good guess, though. It was Brown.
Okay.
They're all Texas youngsters, okay? But look at the one-loss record by Peter Gardere. 4-0.
Unreal.
It has been, if you look back at the history book about this, it has been a series of streaks. You know, when Stoops came in, he went 5-0.
Right.
Now Mack has won 3 of the last 4. And this is the longest that any of the 2 same coaches at Oklahoma and Texas have squared off in this rivalry. Pretty interesting.
It is. We talked about Trent Williams and what he means to this offense. By the way, an offensive line that is, again, trying to build continuity up front. A lot of people feel that he is a future first-round pick. He will play a lot of football in his future. But it's another injury up front to this offensive line. We'll see how Corey Brandon, who's a right tackle, steps in now playing the left tackle spot. Just so happens it's second and long in an obvious passing situation.
Oh, my. Your left tackle, your All-American tight end, your Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and yet the Sooners have found a way to lead it 6-0 behind a brilliant defensive effort here. Second down and 16 for Landry Jones. On the move again, and he'll throw it away. Third down coming up for the Sooners.
Well, that time it was very, very good coverage by Texas, and it allowed the penetration to eventually get to Landry Jones. Landry Jones, those first couple passes, he had the mismatch that he wanted. Now he's seeing some pretty good adjustments by this secondary. And look out for Lamar Houston, who's had a field day so far against Oklahoma here.
Forced to move the pocket again and bounces it. Broyles, the intended target, and Oklahoma will have to punt it away.
Another good job. Give the Texas secondary an assist there. Great coverage downfield, and young Landry Jones. The difference with Jones compared to Bradford is when his initial read is not there, he's not as quick to come off to his second and third receiver. Whereas Bradford, with the experience, can do that. Landry Jones looks for the first guy, and then he begins to panic a bit, getting out of the pocket maybe before he needs to.
Shipley is back, standing on the Horns 35. Trust Way booms it over his head. Shipley on the move. On one hop from the 5. Penalty flag. Field judge had a penalty. Shipley is tackled at the 9-yard line. There is a bullseye on number 8 here today.
Yeah, they are everywhere he goes. They're locked in, but I think he's going to catch a break with a face mask call.
Personal foul. Face mask. Kicking team. 15 yards to the
watch young Austin Box here get the face mask.
Well, they had great coverage. They're downfield. It's actually right in front of us, away from the ball carrier.
I'm not sure about this one at all. I'm like Stu.
Furious.
I don't see it. Did you see it, Herbie, when he went down?
It was actually on the man that was blocking for Shipley.
There was no face mask on Shipley.
It's on the block at the bottom right there.
There it is, right there.
It's not on Shipley.
It was not on Shipley. Okay. First down and 10. And McCoy keeps it for a first down. A 12-yard run. A design play here.
And it's a good job. They're going back to the misdirection, using the speed of Fozzie Whitaker, moving him from one side to the other, and then just running Colt McCoy right into the middle of that defense. They were playing a little bit of a guessing game there with their front. Caught him off guard and picked up some big yards.
Now they come back with the running back to the 35-yard line. So Greg Davis told us earlier in the week he was determined to try and get something out of the running game. And so far, that something has given them only 10 yards, the longest of which was Colt McCoy's run.
Well, you have to be able to run the football if you're Mack Brown, if nothing else, to slow down that dominant defensive line. Right now, Oklahoma's in attack mode because they don't respect the run game, and they're just pinning their ears back and coming after Colt McCoy. The running game could slow that down.
Four-man rush.
No play. We have Fozzie Whitaker lined up as a wide receiver at the top. Looked like he was moving before the ball was snapped.
Ball start on the offense. Number 26.
DJ Monroe.
Second down.
Yeah, DJ Monroe getting a look here because remember Vondrell McGee injured his shoulder. Trey Newton out with a concussion. So Fozzie Whitaker and now Monroe moving.
You know, a guy that I think Colt McCoy is going to have to find eventually is Dan Buckner, who's flexed out as a tight end, has a chance to make some plays for this offense. Big, tall target. They've yet to really have a chance to get him the football.
They're going to keep it again on a quarterback draw, and McCoy back to the original line of scrimmage, plus about a yard. So here comes another big third down.
Travis Lewis, and again, it's just about the pressure that they're creating. You see the back trying to come over Whitaker to pick up Travis Lewis on the blitz, and by the time he does, the entire pocket is collapsing on Colt McCoy, and he's got to get out of there.
Third and 9.
Look at the movement up front.
Comes the blitz. Drops it off. Great grab, but short of the first down. Kirkendall went up, and that was Jonathan Nelson, and there's a penalty. And Mack Brown is right there with his wide receiver, unhappy about the end result.
Well, you got to keep your cool in these rivalry games.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense, number 11. 15-yard penalty, fourth down.
He comes up, he's frustrated. He knows Oklahoma's trying to intimidate him. Instead of going to the sidelines, he gives a headbutt to Quentin Carter.
He's lucky he's not tossed from the game with that.
You're right about that.
That was a silly move, an inexcusable move with a play over. You know an official's looking at you. I'm not so sure the conference won't look at that.
That's what I was going to say. Based on what we studied before the season started, that was one of the examples that they used.
Let's be smart. Tucker. Bryce Frank's back again on the bounce. Oh, a dangerous field. Loose ball. Loose ball. Scooped up by the horns. Touchdown. Here comes the signal. The official was knocked down, and it's touchdown on Texas. Malcolm Williams scoops it up and carries it over the end zone.
But Brett, we've got an issue here. It's a fumble by Franks. I want you to watch this. The ball is picked up by Malcolm Williams. He fumbles this before he gets into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback in Oklahoma's football. They're going to definitely look at this. I don't know if he got the ball across the plane. Look at the hustle here. He knocks the ball loose. I think he's short of the end zone. See how the ball goes out? That would be Oklahoma's ball at the 20 if he did not cross the plane.
Norby, I think you're right on top of it. The Oklahoma coaches are out on the field. They got the word that the ball was knocked out. Watch it come flying.
Yeah, it's going to be Oklahoma's ball at their own 20-yard line after all of that.
That's a touchback when it goes out, baby. That's a great pickup, Kirk, on this one. Here is the fumble.
It's a good job
There's
by.
No question he has possession.
Oh, yeah. Great
It's
job
right
by
here
Williams
what happens.
to pick
It's
it
where
up.
the ball is struck.
Texas
it was pounded out by Brandon Crow. And now they're going to call him out of bounds in Texas ball. Hang on, they'll take a look at this.
Under further review.
No question.
There's so much to look at here. One thing we know for sure is Franks fumbled the football, and Malcolm Williams picked it up. Did he step out of bounds?
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Texas's ball, 1st and 10 at the 18 on the recovery of the muff.
Okay, there it is, the muff. What I said, they cannot advance it. Okay, that's what they had set up on the field. They couldn't turn it over that he had possession and stepped out of bounds. That was a bad decision on Franks' part over there on that sideline. Right. You know, that ball, just get it out of the way.
A lot of craziness, and give the officials all the credit for making the right call on the field where you can't advance the muff. He's going back. Is he going back for more now? Looks like he's going back to maybe find the exact amount of time that should be on the clock here.
MetLife is providing today's aerial coverage. Visit MetLife.com to learn more about MetLife's long history of providing coverage at major sporting events. So what they were doing was resetting the game clock. The PA announcer said they were reviewing. They were just getting straight here with the game clock. So for the first time here this afternoon, in case you just joined us, wild and woolly, Red River Rivalry. And Texas is in the Oklahoma red zone against this fierce defense. Texas only 43 total yards. Here's Whitaker, the fake, throw in underneath, and a jarring tackle by Franks.
If you're Colt McCoy in Texas right now, sometimes this is what you need to be able to catch a break like this to get the offense going. Colt McCoy throwing on a 1st and 10, but as Shipley catches the ball again, these white jerseys are all over Jordan Shipley. This time it's Dominique Franks who lowers the boom for a very short gain.
2nd and 7.
Shipley in the slot now up at the top.
Here comes blitz, and there's a penalty flag and an indication on Oklahoma's side by Reynolds that there was a false start. So the movement is causing trouble in the Texas offensive line. David Snow again. And he'll come to the sideline. Lewis, big-time linebacker, and he too could be considered a candidate for the Nagurski, which is awarded each year to the top defensive player. That's a great name for a defensive award. Oh, Bronco Nagurski. 2nd down and 11. Michael Huey will replace Snow in the offensive line. On 2nd and 11, hit and almost intercepted. dangerous throw, and Keenan Clayton, the other outside linebacker, gets over, and down goes McCoy.
Good job here by Gerald McCoy from Oklahoma. McCoy wants to step up into the pocket. Look how McCoy squeezes in to take that away. Actually affects his vision, and Colt McCoy couldn't get anything on that ball. Clayton almost intercepts it. Colt McCoy catches a break there.
That is the 11th time that Colt McCoy has hit the turf here today. 3rd down and 11. Rolling the pocket to the right, and play was stopped.
And Mac Brown jumping in, trying to get a timeout from the sideline.
First charge of the first half.
So on a 3rd and 11, Mac Brown wants to bring him over. So let's see. Coming up on the Cooper, one long run by DeMarco Murray and to start this game, and OU settled for its first field.
You have to wonder which of these offenses is going to be able to eventually slow down the opposing defense. Right now, both offenses are staggered because of what's happening up front on the offensive line. They cannot slow down the pressure that either one is facing.
Sam Bradford knocked out of the game.
That's where Brent Venables has been dialing it up. Look at all the movement trying to confuse Texas's offensive line.
McCoy wants to change it up, and the clock runs out. You see the 0-0?
All that movement, Brent, is affecting the play call by Texas. It's affecting the communication up front, and it ultimately that time affected Colt McCoy. I think Texas is frustrated because by the time they got out after the timeout, the play clock is halfway over.
47 total yards of offense for Texas with 3:51 to go in the first half. He's down to 4 seconds again. McCoy fires high and incomplete, and he had Shipley breaking beautifully on the post. He had Shipley that time with a step.
Well, Shipley finally had some room. Quentin Carter starting to, but there's the movement. There's the movement and the confusion. And even when you don't get to Colt McCoy, he feels the presence of this Oklahoma defense. Beal coming all the way around the edge to finally, once again, knock Colt McCoy down. But you're right. That time, Shipley finally had a little bit of wiggle room there, and McCoy would have had more time.
Hunter Lawrence, 9 of 11 this year. This is 1 yard shy of his long for the year. And Texas on the board as the battle of field goals continues. Vivo. About time, boys. Where you been? The Red River Rivalry lives in Dallas, Texas. Crowd split 50-50. 6-3 Herbie. Battle of the field goals, and quarterbacks are taking a pounding here today. The headline, of course, Sam Bradford knocked out for the 2nd time this season. Colt McCoy has been bounced around like a rag ball down there.
Who would have ever thought coming into this game that getting close to halftime could be maybe a 6-3 game, and that Colt McCoy in Texas would have 47 yards of offense at this point? They're very fortunate that the defense clamped down in the red zone, and that they're only down 6-3 the way this first half has gone.
3:42. Going to be returned from the 5-yard line. Out to the 43. Ball loose, and the horns with the indication on the field. Emmanuel Acho will be on the bottom of that pile. Yes, sir.
Boy, another break for, watch Curtis Brown right here. Boom, that hit right there caused a fumble, and once it's down, Acho is right there. One of the brothers for the Texas defense comes up. Another big break for Texas. Let's see if they can capitalize again on it.
That time Madu coughing it up on that big hit.
See, now you have a change of momentum like this. It'd be pretty smart to try to take a shot. Take a shot downfield. Go to something that you're comfortable with and you're confident with against the pressuring style of defense from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma with back-to-back turnovers with the return team. Remember that botched punt. And now on the kickoff return. McCoy to throw, almost picked off, and again the linebacker Clayton. So both linebackers on those quick passes to the outside, Herbie, Lewis and now Clayton.
Last year, this is the kind of offense that hurt Oklahoma. They had an entire offseason to get ready for these underneath throws. Everybody wanted to know how they would handle these short throws that hurt them, mainly to Shipley last year. They're locked in on every single route that Texas is running. Colt McCoy doesn't have anywhere to go towards the middle of the Oklahoma defense.
Second and 10. Play clock coming down inside of 5. Pump fake. Takes off. And then throws it out of bounds.
But the discipline here by Brian Jackson in near side corner. It's a little pump and go. He's just sitting there baiting, waiting for Colt McCoy. Throw it. Throw it, buddy. I'm waiting for it. I'm ready for this. Isolated one-on-one against Childs. See the little pump and go. They were anticipating, since they're jumping all these short throws, maybe Jackson will try to jump the next one. Great discipline by Jackson that time, not biting and sitting back. Colt McCoy had nowhere to go once again with the football.
Third and 10. Play clock coming down. He has to call a timeout. That's his second one. With the play clock down at 1, Colt McCoy uses Texas's second timeout here. And a reminder that
McElwain, the offense coordinator at Alabama, doing a great job with first-year starter Greg McElroy, but a lot of it has to do with Mark Ingram and what he's doing.
What a coaching job by Brent Venables and the rest of that defensive staff. Third down and 10. Texas doesn't even have 50 yards of offense yet. On a throw back, good route run by Greg Smith, and there's a little bit of a change up with a 1st and 10 at the 30. Not expecting the tight end to slip out like this.
That's a great description of him slipping out. He's just going to come right through here. Oklahoma being aggressive. Oklahoma attacking towards the field. It's a good job by Greg Davis going to a change up here, taking advantage of that speed and that flow to the field and throwing back to the other way.
The 1st and 10, Whitaker into the middle. Battled his way, and let us check in with Matt Weiner. Matt. Moeaki. Fine tight end. That's 3 times that Stanzi's hit his tight ends in the last couple of games. Second down and 7. And Colt keeps it on that read option. And he's down inside the 10. Still 5. Ball on the ground. Recovered by Oklahoma in the end zone. Touchback coming out on the 20 if he was not ruled down. He may have been ruled down. Instant replay. We'll take a look at this.
Field, fumble inbound, recovered for a touchback. The previous play is under further review.
McCoy indicating for sure that he was down. Franks recovers the loose ball in the end zone.
How about, again, the play call? Fake Steven, the cameraman out here, finally being able to run the football. The determination from Colt McCoy. Boy, that extra second, third, and fourth effort just going to come down to whether or not the ball came out before his knee touched in the midst of that effort that he was trying to put the ball into the end zone. They're trying to rip at the ball. Clayton has his hands on the ball there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Clayton had reached in early. And they're going to take a long look. Number 22 may have ripped it on the way down, and if so, that's going to be recovered by Franks in the end zone. Another tough call for instant replay.
So I think you have to. A couple of those looks showed as he was coming down, he did not have a hold of the football. Sure, it was on his jersey, but it was coming out as he came down.
What a magnificent defensive performance by Oklahoma. Here's a team without its Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, without its #1 draft choice at tight end. Their left tackle is now back on the field after being injured. A rebuilt offensive line in the middle twice. And the defense standing tall here, leading 6-3 with 2:17 to go. And now it's Landry Jones's turn. Brown. It'll be second down at 10. There are the guys up front. Taylor, McCoy, Beal, English. An awesome front.
Well, the front has been dominating, but the linebackers have been creating a lot of the confusion. It's just been a group effort there and what they've been able to do. But you're right. It all starts with Brent Venables and the plan that he's put together this week for Texas's offense.
Second and 10. Fake the end around. No, he's got it. Fumble. Goes after the loose ball. Texas is going to be marked on the 1-foot line.
Talk about catching a break here. How about the call here on a reverse to Kenny? Earl Thomas is all over it. He knocks the ball out. It looks like Texas might catch another break deep in Oklahoma territory, but somehow the ball bounces back to Kenny and away from Thomas. That looked like Thomas was definitely going to jump on top of that into the end zone.
Final minute of the first half.
Previous play is under further review.
Right now, that turnover battle is.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Oklahoma have the ball at the 1-yard line.
You know, the review itself may have helped Oklahoma. Backed up into that Texas end zone. The crowd was really alive. They got time to regroup over there, think about what they wanted to do here.
Oklahoma better be very, very, very careful with the way Texas is playing up front, getting penetration against this O-line.
The 3rd and 29, they just want to try to...
That's what I'm saying. They have to be careful not giving up a safety here. Even on a running play.
He's going to bring it down. Are they going to take it half the distance? Is that what Stoops was out there about? And he calls timeout as he runs the clock down, and that's what he told the officials that he was going to do. He was out there about his clock management.
Yeah, he wanted to work the game clock down as far as he could. He got it down to 42 seconds. He used one of his timeouts.
He knows he's going to have to punt on 4th down and trying to give Texas as few seconds as possible here at the end of the half.
Oklahoma will run the football here. Texas will have to use their last timeout. And unless there's something unusual like a safety or a block punt, Texas should have very good field position, probably close to Oklahoma territory with no timeouts left and about 35 seconds or so to go. We've talked a lot about Oklahoma and Brent Venables, but the Texas defense really playing great today, too, for Will Muschamp. Earl Thomas has been all over this field today.
186 yards of offense for Oklahoma and 85 for Texas. Throw out of the end zone and underneath. And that's Rivalry, the tight end, and Texas now uses its last timeout with 34 seconds to go. Well, the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues with the NASCAR Banking 500 at Lowe's Motor Speedway tonight at 7 Eastern on ABC. Jimmy Johnson, trying to four-peat, has taken over the chase lead, and of course this is one of the closest in years. Very, very wide open. Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart aren't out of it, and Juan Pablo Montoya quietly staying in the thick of things. Of course, Mark Martin was the leader, and Jimmy caught him, so that'll be good viewing there tonight with that down in Charlotte. That's always a great track to watch NASCAR from. So here we come now, 4th down and 23 with 25 seconds to go. Shipley, if he gets a shot, standing near midfield. Expressway. Shipley at midfield, drops it, scoops it up, and he's down at the 38-yard line.
For Texas, if he could have just fielded that punt, they would have been right around midfield, and now back to their own 40. If he fair catches that, he's right at midfield. Unlike Jordan Shipley to ever lose a punt like that, and then he's lucky just to hold on to it, is once again Oklahoma is all over him. The way this offense is executing, it's going to be pretty tough in 24 seconds to get into field goal range. Got Shipley all the way up at the top.
He set a screen in underneath, and Whitaker tried to get him loose with the speed. He steps out of bounds, stops the clock, 17 seconds after crossing midfield.
Pretty well designed play here, and his nice speed by Whitaker to pick up some valuable yardage. I like how Colt just took his time, looked it off. The timing of that was very, very nice, and it opened up a nice lane there for Whitaker to pick up those yards.
Throws complete over Whitaker. He stayed in bounds. A final 10 seconds. Remember, they're out of timeouts. Doesn't have the timeout. He wants to get it down and have one more shot at it if he can. He'll have 2 seconds.
It's a little thing, but a long throw like that, when your receiver doesn't get out of bounds, it's a risk. And by not getting out of bounds, it costs you not only time, but probably a chance to put up points on the board here.
Venables is setting the prevent. Backing off the secondary. Way back. And you can see on the last play of the half, and there's a penalty flag. Down goes McCoy again. And Gerald McCoy brings down Colt. This is against the offense. They can run it out, but not against the D.
Legal motion on the offense, number 7. Penalties decline. Halftime.
So Texas averaging 479 yards, and Lisa, Oklahoma held them to 95 as we go down to you.
Thanks.
Hitting has